program. My name is Akintayo Azeez Ganiyu, Esquire. I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm here to present the topic, Know Your Rights, Protecting Yourself from Abuse, Exploitation, and Harm. It is a great privilege and honor to be here today, and I'm telling you, please, I want you to greet me like between 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to be brief as possible as I can so that I won't take much of your time. You see, when we say right, let's start from the word right. What do you understand by the word right to start with? Rights are recognized, or let me say, legally recognized entitlement that somebody possesses or that a person possesses that is enforceable by law. In other words, rights are something that somebody is entitled to, which the law tries to enforce or tries to guide against, so that the other person or the third party will not transgress against that person. So it is very, very vital and imperative for everybody to know their rights. Because, especially when it comes to girl child, you know, this society is so complex that a lot of things are happening, and the girl child and the women are more vulnerable in our society today. Why? Because majority of these girl child and the majority of these women, they don't know their rights. And in some cases, some that know their rights, they don't know how to enforce it when their right is being trampled upon. So, know your rights, protecting yourself against abuse, exploitation, and harm. So after giving the definition of what is right, one of our juries in the law, we call him Lord Denny. Lord Denny says something. He said, justice is rooted in confidence, and confidence is destroyed when right-minded people go away thinking that the Lord has failed them. Let me take it again. Justice is rooted in the confidence, and confidence is destroyed when right-minded people go away thinking that the Lord has failed them. You know, any society that protects the right of women actually protect the future. Because like Mrs. Tinola said something. He said women are multipliers, which is true. It is a known fact. Give a woman a sperm, she will turn the sperm to a baby and bring out the baby. So if you give a woman 1 naira to start a business, within some period of time, you will turn down 1 naira to 1 million. They are known for that. So understanding the abuse. So when people hear the word abuse, they often think that maybe the violence or the physical aspect of abuse is what we are talking about. So we have different kind of abuse, and let me list them out so that you know we can have a glimpse. We have physical assault and battery. Physical assault and battery. So assault is when, let's say, a boy slap a girl. It is an assault, and it is a criminal offense enforceable under the law. So when you go to school and A boy from nowhere, maybe claiming to be a senior, a Curtis or whatever from nowhere, just slap you. It is an assault and it is against the law and it's a criminal offense which the law protects you from. So when you see something like that, just know that you are being abused and you shouldn't keep quiet. So number two, we have emotional and psychological manipulation. Abuse does not end with, beating. We have emotional abuse. Some children in the society today, they are being emotional abused. By merely telling a child, don't you know where your mate are? You damage that child emotionally. By mere words. Don't you know where your mate are? Or maybe because the girl is having challenges in academics. So instead of you to encourage her, then maybe find a strategic way to improve her. So you say some nasty things to her. This thing can damage the girl inside. And this is another form of abuse that many people don't talk about. Then we have sexual violence and harassment. Sexual violence and harassment. Somebody talk about a girl. Okay, let me give you a scenario. Something is going viral on the social media recently. I think about a week ago, a week or so, there was a lady that was raped by a man, and the lady eventually committed suicide. The lady eventually committed suicide. This is sexual offense. So, are they being the lady in question? No, maybe she knows her rights, maybe not, but I don't think she knows her rights. Adibis is aware that the law protected her from this kind of abuse. She should have known where to approach, make a proper report, get the man arrested, and get justice for herself. So another form of abuse is economic abuse, where a woman is denied access to her legitimate means. This happening not only to a girl, it happens to some women. In some home, for instance, the man is working, the woman is working. So you see a situation whereby the honey from the woman business is being given to the man, maybe because he's a husband or the head of the house, which is not supposed to be. And whenever the woman requested for the money, so it turned to a fight of violence. So economic abuse is another form of abuse that we don't really talk about in society, and is a very, very vital we educate our men and women about it. Then we have cyberbullying. We have cyberbullying and online blackmail. Cyberbullying is when somebody subjects you to a ridicule online. Maybe, defame your character, try to damage your integrity online. So, if anybody experience this kind of thing, you should know that laws protect you from this thing. Just walk into authority, make a report, and your case will be taken seriously from there. So we also have domestic violence. I think domestic violence is one of the common abuse that people knows. So you see it in some family, when the man, because he's the man of the house, subject to the woman, which is the wife, to a punching bag, which is not supposed to be. No man I repeat, no man should lift a finger against any woman. Not to even talk of your wife. Somebody you call the bone of your bone, somebody you call your better half. So anybody that experienced this as a woman should know that her right has been trampled upon and she needs to report to proper authority. Then we have woman trafficking. Woman trafficking is also very common in our society, especially in Nigeria here. You see some, some people carried our women from Nigeria here to Libya, to Italy. So they subjected them to prostitution, and they are earning from there. So woman trafficking is another form of abuse, and it is against the law. So we also have forced marriage and child marriage. Any marriage under the age of 18 is a child marriage, because the law presumes somebody under the age of 18 to still be a child. So if you are not up to the age of 18, it simply means that you are still a child. And if anybody is trying to force you to get married, within this age, it is against the law. It is against the law. So another form of abuse, we have female genital mutilation. This was very common in the past, but due to the advocacy, I think it has drastically reduced, except you can only find few practices maybe in some villages and rural area. So it's against the law. The law prohibits female genital mutilation. Then we have workplace intimidation and discrimination. Somebody cannot say because you are a girl child or because you are a female, then try to discriminate against you. It's against the law. The law protects you from this. If, for instance, you are at the level 10 and you've reached a certain years where you're supposed to be promoted to level 12, you should get your promotion without any hindrance, without subjecting yourself to any MD or whatever. So if anybody is trying to maybe manipulate you to sleep with him so that you can get your promotion, you can actually report the person and get justice for yourself, because it is against the law. So all these listed abuse, there are laws in Nigeria that protected, that that enforceable, that is enshrined in Nigerian law. First and foremost, we have Nigerian Constitution, which is the paramount laws in our land. 1999 Constitution and 2011 as amended stipulated some basic rights, and these are section 35, for instance, guarantee personal liberty. It is your right under the Constitution to have a personal liberty, and nobody should deprive you such liberty. Then section 37, protects you from privacy, family life, and correspondence. Then section 34 guarantee your right to dignity and human. So we also have, some act of parliament, some laws that were enacted to protect the right of, girl child and the women in general. So we have Child Rights Act 2003, for instance. So we have Child Rights 2003, which specifically center the welfare as a consideration for every child in the family. So the welfare of every child in the family must be considered in any decision that the husband and wife are taking, except if maybe they haven't have a child yet. But once you have a child or children, any decision you are taking within the family, you must first and foremost consider the welfare of the child or children, as the case may be. So some of these laws and acts criminalize domestic violence, as we talked about in the past. So emotional and psychological abuse, sexual abuse, stalking, like cyberbullying. Then harmful transgender practices like female gender mutilation, female genital mutilation. Now let's talk about child protection. Every girl child deserves protection. The Child Act 2003 safeguard the children against abuse, neglect, child labor, trafficking, and marriage and exploitation. A girl child should be in school and not in forced labor. For instance, when we were young, our mother, they used to place something on our head to hawk within the neighborhood so that we can bring money for them. So then we don't really find anything in it. We see it as a form of assisting our parents. But I can tell you, it's the Child Act 2003 placed it as an abuse. You cannot subject a child to be hawking within the neighborhood or society as a form of assistance. It is against the law. I'm not saying that a child or children should not run an errand for their parents. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, any form of activities that will deprive a girl child or children in general a dignity should be avoided. Then let's talk about the workplace rights. Women and experience abuse in workplace, and no woman should be compelled to exchange sexual favor for employment, promotion, or academic success. In campuses today, we have some demonic lecturers that demand for sex for marks. Even in some workplace, we have some satanic bosses that demand for sex for promotion. This is purely against, yes, it is purely against the law. If, for instance, you know what you did in your exam, even if you score 40, if within yourself you know that you score 40, it is better for you to retain that course and pass it well than to beg for a lecturer or to subject yourself to a satanic lecturer who is demanding for sex so that it can give you A or B. And in some cases, you see some of these lecturers, they even threaten that, they threaten some of their victims that I will make sure that you don't graduate from this institution. It is very funny. But I can tell you what you need, if you come across this kind of satanic lecturer, is just try as much as possible to get evidence. Maybe through your conversation on WhatsApp, maybe through his, verbal, you can just put your phone on record when you are in his office. Try to record it. And such evidence can be used against him in the court. Recently, there was a case of a professor of law a professor of law, I think University of Enugu or so. The man was convicted for a sexual assault, sexual harassment, because he was demanding for sex for maths from a student. So this is not supposed to be. If any one of us here experience this, maybe in the future, please try and do the needful. Try and get the evidence and approach the proper authority so that your case can be taken upon. Then permit me to address a dangerous misconception. Some women believe that enduring violence is a proof of love or commitment. You know, like we seen in some of, like we seen in some homes. You see a woman who is being subjected to a punching bag, trying to endure the violence. Some even say, oh, I'm saying because of the kids. Some will say, oh, if I leave, where will I go to? Your case shouldn't be like that. When, as I see that majority of women that are here, are young. When you get married, don't allow any man, unquote, no matter how much you love him, don't allow any man to beat you. And when it happens once, let that be the one and the last time it will happen. Because when you tolerate such act for the first time, thinking that, oh, he apologizes, then he will change, I can tell you, abuser don't change. He will repeat and repeat and repeat the same action all over and over again. So if anybody here experience such in the future, don't wait till it's second time before you take action. Something happened when I was coming. I was in Keke. The two persons that sat beside me, a woman and maybe I think a brother. So they were discussing. So something that caught my attention was the man was talking about how he beat his wife. So I just turned my head and looked at him. He said, I'm even happy that I beat her. I have no regret that I beat her. I just turned my head. But, in the course of that conversation, I noticed that the woman in question, I don't know her, has left the house. I think maybe she has divorced the man or something. But one thing I'm not happy about is the fact that such action shouldn't stop at just leaving the man. When a man abuse you in a physical abuse this time around, don't just leave the man. Teach the man a lesson of his life. Teach him the lesson of his life. You know why? If you don't teach him the lesson of his life, if you just leave, you know what? He might probably marry another woman and still repeat the same thing. But when you teach him the lesson of his life, then he will never repeat this in his life. So please, because I don't have much time, let me quickly go to the conclusion. A practical step every girl child or women should take. So permit me to suggest some practical measures that you can adopt First and foremost, know your right. Know your right. It is very vital and imperative that you know your right. Then, secondly, trust your instincts whenever something feels wrong. You know, some women are blessed. Honestly, divinely, women are blessed. If something wants to happen, women usually feel it in their body. Whether there's something wrong or something bad, they usually have this instinct. For instance, if a woman is dating a satanic man, for instance, maybe an abuser, from the onset, within 2 or 3 weeks of the relationship, you know, all right? Then, secondly, trust your instincts whenever something feels wrong. You know, some women are blessed. Honestly, divinely, women are blessed. If something wants to happen, women usually feel it in their body. Whether there's something wrong or something bad, they usually have this instinct. For instance, if a woman is dating a satanic man, for instance, maybe an abuser, from the onset, within 2 or 3 weeks of the relationship, you know yourself that this man is not what he claimed to be. You know within yourself. But sometimes you don't follow your instinct. You just say, maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe it's not like that. So when you have, you know, in the court of law, we deal with evidence, not verbal argument. The more evidence you have, the more case you have. If a man abused you, for instance, if you don't have evidence against him, there is higher probability you will not get justice. So when a man abuses you, maybe an assault or battery or whatever, try to get evidence. Maybe he slapped you and damage some part of your body. Go to the hospital, even if it is like in some cases you see some girl or women being raped, even within members of their family, rape a care child or a woman, and it is very common in our society. The members of that family, they usually try to cover up for such abuse. They will be like, what will people say? Kind of. So I can tell you categorically today that when such happen, please don't keep quiet. Go to the hospital, let them examine you so that you get evidence. So when you get the evidence, such evidence can be used against him in the court of law so that you can get justice. Very, very important. Then number 4, report criminal conduct to the police and appropriate agency. So when your right is being trampled upon, report to the police or any enforcement agency that you can see around. Then number 6, never allow fear or shame to silence you. Never allow fear to silence. This is very, very important. Some of the perpetrator of rape, the reason why they usually invade justice is because the victims usually shy away from the fact that maybe the society will laugh at them or something. So when you've been abused by anybody, don't be silent. Don't let anybody silence you. Don't let the fear of what the society will say or how the society will react to silence you. Report the person to the police so that you can get justice for yourself. It's very, very important. Then seeking help is a sign of courage and not a weakness. So when your right is being trampled upon, when your right is being violated, it is very vital you seek for help. So where needed. That protecting women is not the responsibility of women alone. Parents, I can see some of parents are here too, so we should take note. When your child is telling you something, don't try to silence him. You know, like the case of rape in the family, the reason why some of these cases are usually swept under the carpet is when the girl, the victim, trying to pass the message to the mother in particular. Because when this happen in most cases, most of the girl, they are more closer to their mother. They some most of the time they are comfortable discussing such with their mother. And you see some mother, they try to silence them. Like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. So the parents who are here, please take note when your child is trying to pass an information to you, listen, pay attention, and take a drastic action. Then parents must teach their sons to respect women. This is very, very important too. You know, Mrs. Tinola said something. I think she has two boys, right? She said our boys are not permitted to do what others are doing. I mean, in the wrong context. So this is the responsibility of parents. Train your male child how to respect women, because these boys, this male child, these boys you are raising, they are going to be somebody's husband in the future, and they are going to be somebody's father. So how you raise them will determine how respectful they are going to be to their wives and the children. So please, let's raise our male child properly. Then the religious institution like churches, mosques, we should also pay attention to this thing. You know, like this conference, I'm happy I'm in this conference. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I believe each and every one of us that came here today, we have one or two things to take home. Like this program that's organized, God bless the convener. You know, this kind of conference, it is where, you know, you equip yourself with a lot of information that will guide you. Then schools should also educate the girls about their legal rights. You know, there is a particular subject uh, uh, in school. We have social studies and social study in particular. You know, there is a particular topic within the social studies curriculum that taught about your rights. So the schools will also take note and make sure that the girls are well respected and their rights are not being violated or trampled upon. Because my time is up, I will stop here for now. Thank you very much for listening.
Hallelujah. Can we appreciate Mr. Aziz one more time for that session? I know most of you like the things you were hearing. Am I correct?